Welcome to the Realm of Millenia. Be ye man, woman, a child, a spirit, creature, or demon. Be ye a native migrator, or maybe even an invader into the realm. Welcome, for I am your host, but the Millennium Mailman, and I'll be world building for you today, bringing you a Tourism's Tuesday. Right, this is where I help expound the lore and canon in, about, and around the Realm of Millenia novel that I am currently creating. No. Go back to bed. Go back to sleep. Sleep. Bottle. Sleep. 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 And for today's, this is going to be what I labeled to be a Gojo Satarik. I honestly can't tell if that's an A or a Q. 6 eyes, power, inspired character, and ability. Right? So, something I like to do is dichotomies and juxtapositions. So, what better way to juxtapose a few things here than with like an eye related a power and ability of epic awesomeness, then give it to a blind character. Right? So that is part of the direct canon. It's very much like this blind character who has a cane and a walking stick, old man trying to figure out how to, well, not he's trying to figure out, but the audience is trying to understand how does he have this eye-related power and ability when the blind guy has it, right? Now, I know a bunch of Jujutsu Kaisen fans are going to be mad at me about mispronouncing the name Gojo Satarik. I don't watch Jujutsu Kaisen at all or read it, so I am sorry if I spelled the guy's name wrong. It kind of looks like a Q, so I'm pronouncing it with a Q, but it might be an A. It's definitely not a P. Satarik? No idea, but yes. Right? So, I don't watch the show, but I don't think that makes it hard to understand a certain number of people or a bunch of character designs and powers and stuff. So I found out that this Gojo Sat character had like this 6 eyes ability in the realm of Jujutsu Kaisen and curses and whatnot. So I kind of just got in a vibey mood and kind of made like my own character. Well, no. Excuse me. Well, not really made one based on it, but I kind of modified a character to be like one for one. Because something else I really do like is DBZ, Death Battles. Not DBZ, but Death Battle. And they have a YouTube channel that I watched. I don't watch them anymore. I really want to watch that again. But they had death battles of characters that were similar, and they would analyze the data for the characters and their comics or books and shows, and they'd be like, hey, would this guy or would this guy win if you put them in a fight together? So kind of going off that, I tried to headcanon the Gojo 6 eyes power into a random blind person and saw how OP could I possibly make it without watching the show or getting a full range of ability of how the actual Six Eyes powers work and stuff. What can I do to make this guy awesome, right? So naturally, number one, I did what I could to relatively nerf it the character to make it make sense, since it is an eye related ability, assuming he's blind. And through the little story canon, I kind of made it like a, not to be racist or anything, but I kind of made it like a Asian character concept where it's like, no, not really. He doesn't really need to be blind. He just needs to look that way for everyone else around him, right? And running a stereotype of the Asian community is that, especially older people, they never open their eyes. So, one, make them like super squinty. Number two, give them the shades, give him a walking cane and stick and anything and everything, and cover like his eyes, his face. Like, might as well, no, what? Might as well just give him a full face mask with that lets zero light in there at all, right? Okay, right? Just do as much as possible to display like his eyes don't work. Right? Put a bag over his head, something. Just more and more stuff to be like, yes, you can assume he's very much blind because he's not using his eyes to see. And in there, yeah. So, one of these. So that's part one of it. But I feel like I'm digressing, so I'm just gonna read through the direct page. I think I gave you enough back story on it, right? But the actual ocular ability pertaining to the character, though, allows the character to see things so finely that he's got to cover up his eyes, so the innate processing of what he is seeing is reduced to a minimum to kind of minimize any mental fatigue and overload that could happen, because his eyes and mind are like directly connected to the synapses in such a way that it could quite literally overpower you, right? It'll hurt to see, one might suggest, right? And that goes as far as to be like, hey, light is super reflective and carries color, energy, distance along its traveling, right? And something while trying to write through this character, I did like, what's his catchphrase gonna be? You know what? His catchphrase is gonna be, hey, my nerves ain't what they used to be, ... Right? To show and recognize like the neural pathways of the actual person has also evolved and developed to match the usage of the eye's ability, right? But because of aging and natural kind of corrosion, digression of wear and tear and use, his nerves, his nerve endings, the nerves themselves, they just ain't what they used to be after all that time of use and exposure with his eyes and everything. It's like, oh, my nerves ain't what they used to be now, sonny. I gotta go slow, right? So I figured that would be like a nice little like mainstay catchphrase for the guy. Like, my nerves ain't what they used to be. That don't make me any less capable than I was before. That don't mean I can't do anything I used to do before. I'm just letting you know, my nerves ain't what they used to be. So I try to cover up, because all that information getting sent along the path of every wave of light that exists. Like when the light passes by, it picks up the colors, it picks up the distance, it picks up this, that, and the third. There are so many things you can tell and kind of passively process day in and day out anytime you see things. If it's dark, you kind of have the initial, like, hey, either I'm in an enclosed space or it is late as pissed chips outside and it's not going to be a full moon, otherwise there'd be a little shred of semblance of light or something, right? Either I'm outside and it is one of those months where the moon just doesn't feel like it existed, or it means that I am indoor somewhere, or a really big expansive indoor space, enclosed space that has no outside light coming in and nothing's plugged into the outlet or something, right? Like I could be in a basement right now, but there is quite literally zero light coming into this space, so it's well enclosed. There are a slew of things that you can garnish from just the light and being able to see. So I took that to 10, amplified it up to 100, and then said, give it steroids. Turn that speaker up. So all I know about the Gojo 6 Eyes power from Jujutsu Kaisen was that, hey, this guy has beautiful, awesome, epic eyes that allow him to do some crazy stuff. And apparently that character also like covers his eyes because he would overload his system or whatever. So I took that concept, flipped it, and just amplified it as much as I thought was potentially possible, right? And this is the little story, right? And that is quite literally all the stuff that I could associate with the power, outside of doing some like Ray Charles-esque stuff and trying to do it something akin to Bat's echolocations, but yeah. So the rest of this page is, what are you guys doing down there? Just finish the video, So the rest of the page is basically what I kind of thought I could do to kind of introduce the character. How would I put the character into the Realm of Millenia just randomly, right? And like, okay, how about thugs and bandits? Thugs and bandits exist, right? So why don't I introduce this character through the means of thugs and bandits? He's old, he looks blind, so how about, yeah, I'm gonna have him come out his little hermit mountain area, trying to be isolated and alone, and have him spend big money, try to get like a little cart of stuff, and get jumped by some thieves and bandits as he's trying to make his way home, right? Cool. And that's where this comes in. Let's see. Okay. So basically, in there, I started like in a weird spot, but the final thing before I start reading, this guy is now like before like a courtroom or something, or better yet, he's trying to give a description statement to the police, right? Because again, just because he's old and just because maybe he's blind doesn't mean he's any less capable than he was before. And he was like a frontline soldier, warrior, slaughterer, demon on the battlefield, right? He was one of those. It's like just because I'm old don't mean I can't do none of the things I wasn't doing before, son. So he's trying to do this, like, get his police statement taken care of, and that's where he's walking through and he's like, no one's gonna be arresting me, right? So there was the incident with the thieves and bandits, but it's like, you mind coming with me? I do mind. I'm gonna give you the statement, the whole statement, nothing but the truth in this statement, but the point still stands. I'm not going nowhere with you, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? Because this is quite literally self-defense. I know what they look like now. They look like a mangled pile of mincemeat right now, but it was in self-defense. They followed me home. You could ask the people in the shops in the town, everything. They was following me like a bunch of creepy stalkers, and now they in my cave. I chose to live away from the city, literally live in a cave where it's nice, deep, dark. I love my little chandelier bats and everything. They came in here, and I don't know what to tell you. So he's in the middle of a statement, and that's where you can kind of see where, because I know how I chose to integrate him, and I don't really need to word for word describe it in here, but from beginning to end, he was being followed by the couple of thieves and bandits who stalked him home, trying to wait for the perfect moment to get the jump on him. And they follow him into a cave, and they're like, dang, it's so freaking dark in here. Dude, he's blind. He doesn't really need anything. So he doesn't really need any of the light or anything. Duh. Right? Well, who would want to live in a dark, damp cave like this? Is he Moss Man? Is he a plant creature or something? Trying to hide us? If that's the case, I'm not robbing this guy. Nah, dude, it's clearly a dude. Otherwise, he wouldn't need to buy this and this and that while he was out and about. Okay, you're right. Let's just rob the man. He'll be fine because he's blind, and let's get out of here. So they get like this oil lamp or flashlight or whatever it is, and they start flinging it about trying to find the old man because they assume he's probably asleep by now in the cave. What are you guys doing? The two thugs and bandits, they go around trying to find the guy, and then the guy finds them and articulates himself to be like this menacing monster. Oh, you should never have come here because I'm not giving you really any opportunity to leave and try to do it again or anything, right? So here's where the conversation piece, starting out with a quote. All I need to see is the light of my eyes when alone, because the natural electricity of my withering, decrepit nervous system's shots, firing signals back and forth, produces light outside of my eyes that bounces off the surroundings before it returns to me. Right? So similar to the whole bat concept of echolocation, where the bats make noise, it bounces off the walls, and the sound of it reaching back into their own ears is how they know where they are, what's going on around them in the world around them, even though bats are blind, and blind as bats is a whole phrase in and of itself, right? To step it up a bit, make it a bit more human. Humans have eyes and everything too. And this guy, he has this power that allows him to, like, overshoot and figure out. His eyes are so good, the electricity of his neurons firing behind his eyeballs will come out and project into the surroundings. And the moment that little light bounces off any of the surfaces and I'll let you watch another show later. Okay. Figure out what it was. So, beauty is pain is a phrase that everyone should know by now. Beauty is pain. And today is the day the twins are getting their hair done. So, going through the hair care rituals with their mother. And, yeah. It was not a fun experience. From what it sounds like, I don't want to assume that it was a bad experience or anything, but it sure was. It is. They're not over with it, so you have been warned that if you hear any further screams, hootings, and hollerings, it's because beauty is pain and it's hair care day with the twins' mother. So, yes. But back to the episode. All I need to see is the light of my own eyes while I'm alone, because the natural electricity of even my withering, decrepit body, nervous system, shoots enough signals firing out back and forth out of my eyes into the surroundings as it bounces off and comes back. Do. Much like echolocation, yes. So, what about when you make a noise? What do you mean? I use the light of my eyes to see in this abyssal dark, much like you would in a room in your home when surrounded by candles and lanterns. You all didn't close your eyes when coming in here, so the light in your eyes are much like floodlights that might as well be trying to blind me. So of course I knew exactly when and where you were. Of course I knew you were here. I knew you were here, so enthusiastically I snuffed the lights out of their eyes with their blood. They followed me home, pestered me with threats, and then had the nerves to take action on me for casting them out without discussion. They sought their deaths, and I obliged within the scopes of the law, and you've no authority or permissions to punish me for it. Right? That's the little introduction I have where the guy is like bucking back against the local authority, like, hey, I'm gonna have to bring you in for questioning. No, I gave you a statement. You can run your investigation, but you sure have no authority to come over here and try to get me to do something for you. They followed me home, threatened me. So I snuffed out the light in their eyes with the blood from their bodies. It's rather morbid. It's not all that funny, but it's funny, haha, to me, because is just taking it to 10 and then taking it to 100 and going on further than that is the whole point of this character, right? So gave him an awesome overpowered ability, the analytical ability to notice anything and everything associated with light as it comes into his eyes to be processed into his mind. He absolutely knows everything. Like, he can see alone. He alone can see and know everything about his surroundings based on the light coming out of his own eyes, right? So anytime he gets like a secondary source because his nerves ain't what they used to be, it's like you're trying to blind him with your high beams directly in his face. That's what it feels like to him. Yeah, I knew exactly where you were, but we're in a dark cave. I knew exactly where you were. You guys are blinking. You guys are walking around. I didn't even need to hear you, but you guys talking to each other just made it that much easier, right? You guys got these high beams that you just keep blinking, and flashing directly into my face anytime you look around this cave, in addition to the lantern you brought to help you see, because you guys freaking stink. I knew exactly where you were, I knew exactly how you were, what you looked like, and everything down to the detail. And then you had some nerve to buck back after I tried to evict you from my place that I call home in this cavern. Yeah, no, they had to go. They're totally dead. Well, I'm gonna need to bring you back in for questioning then. They're like, no. You have it on no authority. Get out before I have to snuff out the light in your eyes too. Yep, that was basically all I have for this character, Caveman. That's all I have for the Caveman character. I do apologize about the distraction through the first 20 minutes of the video, because, man, happens. It is hair day. I forgot about that. It's not the hair care day that I'm shaving off all of what remains of my hair, so it tends to pass me by. So, peace, love, happiness, all the best of things to you. Like the video if you felt like liking it. You like what I had to say, like how I talked about things. Love you too. Comment down in the comment section down below. Questions, thoughts, opinions, and more. Or reach out to me at millenniummailmen@gmail.com. Share the video for more exposure. Dislike the video if you don't, but subscribe if you feel like it. Peace, love, happiness, and all the best of good things to you. What do you want? Hey, at least you didn't eat the batteries this time. Right? Yeah. I'll turn on your program, buddy. Don't worry about it.